Visioning is something that happens as someone is actively dying. During that active process of death, within the last 3 to 4 days, sometimes longer, a person, whether they're conscious or not, starts exhibiting signs that they're talking to or interacting with people that maybe the other people in the room can't see. I had a really interesting experience with someone who is actively dying when I said goodbye to my father in law. This is not a nice man. He was one of the meanest people I've ever met. We get the call, hey, it's not much longer. If you want to say goodbye, you need to come up. We made the trip up there. And I'm sitting on the couch. He was sitting in a recliner, and my husband is dealing with my mother in law and all of the things that one deals with as somebody's getting ready to die. And I was just sitting there, and I could see the people that were with him. One of them was a woman. She was wearing a purple house coat. I don't know if you guys remember those. My grandma used to wear one. They were like a snap up cover for the fancy dresses that they wore in the 40s and 50s. And she still did that when she was in the kitchen. She would put this house coat on over her clothes when she was cooking. Well, this woman had curly dark hair, and she was wearing one of those purple house coats with the big pockets in the front. And she was saying, well, I'm here. That's what you do when somebody dies. You show up. And she was so put out by the fact that she was there. She wasn't alone. There were other people there, but I distinctly remember her because she was just so obnoxious. And it helped me understand a little bit why maybe my father-in-law was just such a jerk. But I must have a look when I'm talking to people like that, because my husband sat down on the couch. He's like, who are you talking to? And I said, there's a woman with your dad. And I described her, and he was like, oh, that's his mom. Well, this woman died long before I was ever in the family. And he showed me a picture, and yep, that was her. It looked just like her. And I described what she had said, and he said, even if you hadn't been able to describe her, if you had just told me that's what she said, I would have known it was her. That's exactly the way she used to behave. That's exactly her personality to a T. So being able to see the folks arriving to welcome someone through that transition is always an interesting process for me. And it's one that I think clients or the family of the dying find comforting. Having that intermediary who can also see what the dying person is seeing and be able to translate that to the family, especially if the family can't, especially if the dying person is nonverbal or can't communicate at that point, brings a little comfort knowing that they're not actually alone in that transition.